TrendingSmallCaps.com presents Game Changers. Introducing you to innovators, disruptors, and those making a difference in the sectors they serve. You'll hear from company leaders, including their CEOs, explaining how they are and plan to continue to change the competitive landscape. Welcome to TrendingSmallCaps.com. Let's do this.
Hello and welcome into the program. My name is Jay McFarland, and today I'm very excited to introduce you to Joe LaRosa. He is the founder and president of LaRosa Realty, and I can't wait for you to hear his excitement and enthusiasm as he took this company from a startup all the way to going public, and also some major announcements in how they are leading the forefront of real estate with new technology. All right, Joe, it's such a great pleasure to have you on. This is CEO Joe LaRosa joining us. And Joe, I want you to tell us a little bit about your company and the fact that you just had a recent IPO. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey the last couple of years as we decided to go public. I've actually been licensed since around 2004. But it was primarily kind of a dormant company. It was more of a division of my development company from many years ago. And basically any products that we were developing and building, we would sell through our sales arm. And in 2007, 2008, when the development market pretty much, entire real estate market really at that point pretty much came to a complete halt.
Yeah.
We were trying to figure out what are we going to do next, right? How am I going to put food on the table? So I ended up getting involved in a very unique real estate franchise that was based out of Connecticut, but it was really servicing the Latino communities. And my background is Cuban Italian, so I'm actually from Miami originally. So I thought, wow, that's a really brilliant concept. So I scraped up the last few dollars that I had, and against everybody's advice, I ended up acquiring the rights to develop this real estate company. And we did really well. In fact, when real estate companies were actually closing doors back then, we actually were able to open up some doors. And long story short, I ended up starting to then develop outside of Florida in the different markets. And the founder CEO said, look, go anywhere you want and help me with operations, because we need to now have some substance behind what we're selling, because it was just an initial idea and concept. And I always tell that story to kind of start because that was my on-the-job learning. I was a real estate developer, all of a sudden now running a real estate franchise, helping this company grow and expand. And I was interacting with a lot of brokers, a lot of individual realtors, understanding some of the trends that were taking place in the market way back then and what the needs were. And, I saw this really up and coming trend, this movement taking place where these 100% real estate companies were starting to pop up all over the place. And the one uniqueness about what I saw, what they were doing that I could do differently, was they were just offering 100% commission. So an agent can come, hang their license with me as a broker, let's just say. I'm going to pay them all their commission. I'll just get a small little flat fee, but I'm not going to give them any support. They're not going to get anything back in return, right? What you get is what you pay for. So, throughout my time with this other real estate company, helping them grow and build some substance behind what they were offering, I learned how to put together different systems such as education, technology, different support systems that I can kind of compile together and still then offer it to agents and still give them 100%. So we went into 2011 into the marketplace here in Central Florida to start, and I ended up doing really well. In fact, from 2011 to 2015, 2016 actually, LaRosa Realty grew pretty quick throughout the state of Florida, and we grew to over 1,000 agents. And shortly after that, we got recognized by the National Association of Realtors as being a top 75 real estate company. So we were enjoying the momentum for sure, trying to figure out how else can we continue to expand. And then one thing kind of led to the other, right? So as we started to grow, we started to realize, all right, how do we cross some state lines? How do we get into Georgia, South Carolina, and other states? And so from my background from helping this other real estate company grow and expand across the United States, so why don't we franchise? See if I can actually turn this into a franchising model. And so we did, and we expanded into New York, California, South Carolina, Georgia, and even Puerto Rico. And so at that point, I would say 2019, 2020, we got a little over 2,000 agents at that time. And that's when I started to say, okay, what else can I do to keep pushing the envelope, right? How can I stay ahead of the curve? I always want to be an innovator. And, we were able to come into the marketplace, have great success because of the fact that we were coming into, the real estate space with a different model, a different, we weren't really inventing 100% commission. We were kind of reinventing it. We were just adding our own little flavor to it. So I saw some of the other real estate, companies out there having some great success with the idea of creating this opportunity for agent ownership. So I was on a mission. I was like, how can I figure out how to be able to create this opportunity now and possibly even throw in some rev share opportunities? And just that's from when just kind of, doing my due diligence, exploring and, talking to different folks, I realized, hey, wait, there's a path. It's a slim path, but there's a path that we can take in essence to go public and become a publicly traded company. So at the time, the market was, on top. Everything was great. We thought, wow, all right, if we go down this path, maybe we can be public here in the next 7 to 8 months. Well, 2.5, almost 3 years later, we finally crossed the finish line under very different market conditions. But here we are, and we're very excited now to become a publicly traded company here, trading on NASDAQ, and ready to, take advantage of this new opportunity.
Yeah, it's a very exciting story. As you were building this, did you ever think that it would turn into a public company? That's quite the growth.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. In fact, all my friends and family, when I first told them, hey, I had this crazy idea, I think I'm going to see if we can take our company public. And they're like, well, Joe, like, don't you got to be like worth like $300-400 million, and you got to have all this, all these assets? And says, no, I got to understand there's this micro cap space that we can definitely, go public in, and there's an opportunity for us. And, I had the opportunity to really speak to other real estate companies too, as well, that had just gone public, and realize, hey, you know what, if they can do it, I know we can do it, because we already had the infrastructure in place. At that point, we were north of 2,000 agents. We had already started to build different ancillary services around La Rosa that really allowed us to be able to have the revenue to, go public. So yeah, so here we are.
Yeah, I loved how you were like, yeah, we're doing great business. And then you said, we went public. And I'm like, wow, that's like yada, yada, yada. We went public. I mean, that's a massive undertaking.
It is. And I can tell you, it's a journey like no other. And, I think it's only right that we go public in these type of market conditions, because we launched La Rosa in one of the most challenging markets really in the real estate, history of the US. I mean, I think when we first went live back in 2010, 2011, I was telling somebody the other day, we were actually selling more short sales and foreclosures than anything else. The real estate market was really in a bad spot. So, obviously a lot of folks were kind of questioning, saying, well, why do you want to go now? Why do you want to try to go public now? Why don't you just sit it out, wait a couple years? And I say, look, you know what? There's always an opportunity at any time. And I see there's an opportunity now to jump in and really be ahead of the curve. I want to be able to be positioned now for the future, and to create an opportunity, for agents to really truly be able to create agent ownership, rev share, and of course, have one of the best, models out there.
I'm curious, what is the difference in your mindset or your approach as you run this company from when you were private to public? Has that changed how you attack things?
It's still relatively fresh. So I would tell you every day, I'm definitely starting to kind of experience new things with it. Of course, now you're obviously focused on, you want to obviously do what's right for the investors and shareholders. And we had our first board meeting the other day, our first official board meeting. So that was pretty cool to kind of, be in a group setting. And, before it was always me, Joe LaRosa making all the decisions. Now it's, I'm reporting to a board. I have shareholders, I have investors. And, everyone that I'm talking to is they're just, they're catching, it's very contagious, the passion that I have. And once they're in a room, they get on a call with me, they see kind of what our vision is for the future. And I tell them kind of what our growth plan is, and it gets everyone excited and say, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, I've only spoken to you for a few minutes, and your passion's already kind of wearing off on me, or rubbing off on me, not wearing off. You've kind of hinted to this. One of the keys to your success is the different revenue models or verticals, as they're called. Talk a little bit about that and how they really help this business grow and contribute to the bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. So, one of the first questions I typically would get to any investor or really anyone that's just trying to understand our business model, right? The question is, how do you make money, right? If you're giving away, all the agent's commissions back to the agent. And the truth is obviously it's a numbers game, right? So our main base primary plan is where we charge a monthly fee of $75. We'll charge a $4.95 transaction fee per closing, and then we'll charge an annual fee to the actual agent. So, if you have 10, 12, 15, 20 agents, you're not going to make a lot of money. You're going to have a very difficult time staying in business, right? So the first year of us doing this, I remember my wife saying, "All right, are we ever going to make any money, or are we putting everything that we make back into the business?" And unfortunately, we had to obviously make that kind of investment back into the business, but obviously it paid off tremendously. And over time, we started then to, as we got to a certain agent count, we get to that tipping point where, it makes sense, right? Now today, we'll close 600 to 700 transactions on a monthly basis. You multiply that times the transaction fee. You multiply the monthly fee times 2,500 agents now that we have across the U.S. The annual fees kick in too as well. But what we did over time was we started to build other ancillary services around La Rosa that fed into La Rosa and catered to the needs of our agents, right? So we developed a property management company. A lot of residential real estate companies really don't allow their agents to do both. And so I didn't want to have our agents then work with an investor, now get a deal closed or multiple deals closed, and now they have to turn over that investor to somebody else that does property management. So we built our own property management company that pretty much is going to allow the agents to still work with those clients, and we handle all of the payables, receivables, basically all the accounting work. Charge a flat fee per property. We developed a commercial real estate company. Same idea, right? Most residential real estate companies don't want their agents to do both residential and commercial. We said, hey, we'll allow you to do it, but you got to get certified. You have to have the right education. You have to be mentored, and so on. So we developed that ancillary service. The coaching company was really a huge success for us. So we developed coaching probably about 6 years ago. And really initially I was looking at all of our numbers and, looking at retention. And we'll recruit a lot of agents, but a lot of the agents that we would lose were brand new agents. In fact, it's a crazy statistic, right? As of today, the National Association of Realtors actually says that a brand new agent, their first year in the business, they most likely only have a 20% survival rate. 20%. So 80% of brand new agents are usually out within the first year. So we wanted to find a way to reverse that. So we created a coaching program where any of our brand new agents coming into La Rosa, they couldn't get to 100% yet. They had to close 4 transactions working with a coach, get certified, do one-on-one training, have weekly sessions, and then once they close their 4th transaction, they can now graduate into 100%. So that coaching company allowed us to create additional revenue stream and allowed us obviously to improve our numbers to make sure agents were able to survive that first year. Besides those companies, we built a title insurance business, a mortgage brokerage business, as well as a homeowners insurance business, really with the idea of kind of creating everything kind of underneath that, one-stop shop type atmosphere. So that's allowed us to be able to generate, my father always taught me, you always want to have multiple streams of, revenue income coming in. So we were able to find a way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love this idea of helping these real estate agents, survive, because it is that first year. And I can really see how you're allowing them to keep more of the money they make. I mean, could there be a greater factor in their survival, right?
No, absolutely. And it gives them the flexibility, right? So, in difficult times where you have to get more competitive with your, actual commissions that you're charging and whatnot, we're able to give our agents that kind of, flexibility. And, one of the things that we've been, actually NAR came out and said not too long ago that they would say that about 10% of the agents today actually have their license active with a company like ours that offers 100%. That number is going to drastically increase to probably close to 40 to 50% here over the next 2 or 3 years. Now, as we go through this, latest cycle here in the real estate market, agents, when they're closing less transactions, you may have closed 15, 20 transactions the year before. This year, maybe you're only on pace to close 10 to 12, right? Well, typically that agent then wants to find a way to keep more of their commission. So that's when they'll look for companies like ours. And all of a sudden we stand out because now, yeah, we offer 100%, but wow, you offer all these different things too as well. And we've actually been able to recruit more agents this year than we have over the last several years. So, we're excited again, for the opportunity that, we have in this current market.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we've talked about the past and everything you've done, but I can tell you're never going to rest on your laurels. It doesn't seem like you're ever going to be satisfied. So I know you had a big press release. Tell us what the future looks like for La Rosa Realty.
So, one of the very unique, I would say, growth strategies that we have in place, since we franchised back in 2018, 2019, now a lot of those franchisees are actually going to be reacquired by us. So
Mm.
what we did actually at the IPO, simultaneous to our IPO closing, we actually acquired controlling interest of our top two franchisees and brought them back into underneath the holding company. And the plan is now is to go ahead and target, all the other offices that we have. We have a total of 35 offices right now across the U.S. So we'll be looking at, which ones will be a good fit for us and, are a good fit for both sides, in essence, to can come underneath the holding company once again. And, of course, we're going to continue to, always try to be innovators, right? We want to find a way to be able to offer new things in the marketplace. And I think one of the things that I think really allows us to stand out now is the fact that, there are a few companies now that are publicly traded right in the real estate space. A lot of them are more to the traditional brokerage models. Some of them offer a rev share type model. A couple will offer maybe kind of a hybrid 100% commission model. We want to offer everything. And I think what we want to do is, look, I'm not trying to invent the wheel. We're just going to reinvent it or kind of add our own little spice to it. And so we're going to introduce, obviously, our ultimate plan, which is a revenue share plan, very simple to understand. Allow the agents, if they want to build a business within a business, generate passive income by recruiting other realtors, they can do so. Or if they don't want to do that and they just want to work real estate, be a full-time, real estate agent, they'll have the opportunity to earn 100% commission too as well. So I think one of the things that will really allow us to stand out is the fact that we're going to have really multiple different, I would say, models, different offerings that we can make to agents to allow us to truly define what it is to be agent-centric. And then we're always going to be, trying to advance. Today we had a, big announcement of our artificial intelligence program that we developed called Jamie, and it's going to allow agents now to, the old saying, right, work smarter, not harder. And I'm a big believer. And, don't be afraid of technology. I always tell agents, agents will always come to me and say, Joe, do you think at some point, we can get replaced by technology, especially with AI. Now, AI has been around for a while, right? But it started to gain a lot of attention over the last, 8, 9, 10 months. And I would say, listen, no, the ones that get left behind are the ones that don't embrace technology, right? At the end of the day, real estate is still, in a real estate transaction, there's still that need for the human touch, the human relationship, right? It's essential. But we need to embrace technology to allow us to be able to really stand out and work smarter and be more efficient with what we do, be able to help our consumers and so on. So when I saw AI starting to gain some momentum, I went back to my CTO and said, look, all right, we're not public yet. We don't have the funds, but we're going to find a way to do this. Let's develop our own, we have our own system that's called My Agent Account. That's our own self-proprietary technology. But can we add a AI component to it? And we found the way to do it. We just released it. We were beta testing it for the last few months. Just released it to the agents yesterday. And in the last 24 hours, we've been getting tons of amazing, great feedback. As the agents now are kind of having the opportunity to play around with the system and see how it's going to help them now in their business.
Yeah, I love the focus on technology and I love the idea of embracing it. For me, I think the key is to be able to spend more time doing the most important things, right? Because otherwise you're running around putting out fires, you're getting distracted here and there. If you, through technology and a partnership with La Rosa, can really just spend the time, I think, working with people and establishing those relationships, again, you may survive after the first year and you may be doing this 20 years from now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things that, going back to that survival rate, we are dead set focused on the fact that we want to reverse that, right? So I want to make it where an agent has an 80%, if not close to 100% likelihood of surviving. So, one of the things I was telling someone the other day is that, I look at it like, look, I want to create a menu for these agents so that they can, like when they go out to dinner, they can pick and choose what makes sense for them. So, we have tools, education, training, different support systems for agents at all different levels. So whether you're brand new, you're a mid-level agent, you're a top producer, maybe you're in, the luxury market, maybe you're in more the investment side of the business, we have tools here at La Rosa that will allow you to be able to take your business to the next level.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. I think I kind of got a flavor for it, but 3 to 5 years from now, where do you see